Hey, what's going on? Tom Keenan here, Top Class Installations. Coming at you guys today. We have a pretty cool topic that is one that is near and dear to my heart. And let me try and look at the camera here a little bit. This has to do with collecting data in the field for your installation technicians. It has to do with updating the office and close to real time as possible, getting that data transferred from what the field technician sees within their own eyes and hands into the back office so that you can effectively and efficiently bill out the work and update the GPS manufacturer partner and or the end user. There's several tools out there to do this. Just to name a few, there's GoForms, there's Google Sheets, which is or Google Forms, which you can make yourself, which is free. We use FastFill over here at Top Class. It's one that I'm going to show you today because I'm most familiar with it, but it is by no means the only option out there. There are several really amazing pieces of software out there. And if you're going to go down this road, you need to find one that works best for you. It was a long, arduous task that I went through to find the right tool. And in order to determine what worked best for myself and my company, I tested about 5 or 6 different providers and finally settled on FastFill. And a couple of the reasons that I settled on them was A, it was super easy to build a form. It just kind of flowed and meshed with the way that my brain works and thinks, since I was the one who was going to be building the majority of the forms, especially in the beginning. And their pricing was pretty good. It wasn't outrageous. There are a couple of solutions out there that are just absolutely insane as far as price is concerned. They're built more for an enterprise style business, not a small business. When you're seeing 100 or 100 and change a month per user, it's super expensive. FastFill, I think they say the price is $20 a month. We were able to negotiate them down to about $15. I don't get any commission, affiliate, anything from FastFill. So I'm just giving you the honest truth of how I feel about them. As a company, for the most part, they've been really helpful. Their tech support has been helpful when needed. They also offer a service where they build forms for you, and it's pretty reasonably priced. However, I used it once, and I'm glad I did because it taught me a lot about the intricacies of building their forms. But I still had to go back in and tweak that form to make it the way I wanted it. I'm very particular about the way that certain things get done, as I know most of you within this group are the same way. So let's, one of the reasons I'm over here today on Google Hangouts and streaming this live to YouTube is so I can share my screen with you. I'm actually going to show you a little bit of the back end of FastFill and show you what some of the forms look like. And then we can discuss some bullet points that I have as well regarding how this data sets you apart. And before I forget, John Meese was supposed to be on a call with me today, and he ran into some issues within his business that he had to attend to. So he's not able to make it. This was supposed to be a live call between him and myself, but no big deal. We're going to make it work here. So let me just pull up some notes here. I want to go through these real quick before we dive into the actual software and show you guys what's what. So the topic of this call here, for the most part, let me get my hand out of the way of the camera, is how data collection sets you apart. All right. And here are just some quick bullets that I'm going to rattle off that I wrote down earlier. Okay. You can update your back office almost in real time. All right. This is super important because it allows you to update your customer, the end user, and the GPS company very quickly. Also, this is going to increase the rate of your cash flow. I hope you guys understand how important that is. You know, most of us here are on a 30-day cycle usually in order to collect from whoever we're doing the work for. So think about this. If you go out and you do a week's worth of work and you go back to the office on Sunday, do your work, bill it, and send it out, well, that job that you did on Monday is now days behind on the cycle. So if you have someone on the back office, and granted, you know, you might have to scale up or grow your business to get to this point, which is totally fine. If you have someone in the back office who's able to kick out these invoices as soon as the work comes in and update the GPS manufacturer partner, A, they love that. And B, you're just getting your invoices out there faster, which means you're going to collect your money faster. So that right there is tremendous. Number 2, easily pull up past records when a GPS company requests info or a customer claims you broke their shit. Everyone here has seen that. It's happened. So, you know, just keep in mind, you know, if a customer comes to you and says, hey, you know, Well, I didn't have a check engine light on before you guys worked on the vehicle. If you built your form appropriately and you have a check-in, a vehicle check-in that the technician or the installer is required to fill out prior to working on the vehicle, you're going to check that stuff out and you're going to have it documented. Okay, I can't stress to you guys enough how important that is, especially in today's day and age. It's so simple to do it. Take the extra 3 to 5 minutes per vehicle and please do it. It could literally save you thousands upon thousands of dollars or a false insurance claim. Okay, number 3, easily make Excel workbooks for large projects. This has been absolutely tremendous for us. If you've ever done a large project for a GPS company, a lot of times they'll give you a workbook and they'll say, hey, when you're done with the work for the day, fill out all the information on the sheet. So you do 40, 50 installs a day. And, you know, we were on the road a lot when we first started. We'd go back to the hotel room after working a 12-hour day, and it would be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'd be barely eyes open at the keyboard, hunting and pecking, trying to type in VIN numbers, unit numbers, hoping to not make a mistake at that ridiculous hour, because our updates needed to be out by 8 a.m. the following morning, regardless of what time we finished the work. So what we were able to do with the forms is pull the data, scrape the data off the back end of the submission and automatically create that form or that Excel spreadsheet. You can get super fancy with it. You can, once it's in Excel, if you know Excel, you can do all sorts of crazy shit with it. I'm not that good with Excel, but just know that the possibility exists that you can definitely take this data and you could map it over into an existing spreadsheet, or you can just create a new spreadsheet and share it with your customer. That's the kind of stuff you're gonna have to figure out between you and them. Okay, another great thing here is built-in quality control. So if you build your form out correctly, you can set in certain aspects for quality control. Basically have a checklist built into that form. Did you check this? Did you check this? Did you check this? Did you call and verify? Who did you speak with? And you can make these requirements on the form. So the form cannot either go further or cannot be submitted unless these things are taken care of or checked off, filled out within the form. Listen, there's always ways to game the system. Don't get me wrong. It's not completely foolproof, but it's going to take away a lot of the BS that's there. That's really helped us big time. So let's say we get a GPS company that changes a procedure. We can actually quickly go back into an existing form, tweak it with some conditional logic. And conditional logic is basically if this, then that. So if this this checkbox or this question is answered yes, it then populates a secondary question that requires more information to get filled out. Whereas if they were to check no, nothing happens. It just moves on. So there's a lot of fancy stuff you can do with these form tools when it comes to conditional logic, and I'm a big proponent of that. I think it has made our forms very powerful. It also helps eliminate the questions that don't need to be asked if a specific feature or option is checked off or not checked off. Quick for instance, if we get a form or we get a guy who goes on site and he checks off no show on one of our forms because a customer wasn't on site, that form is literally, I think, like 4 or 5 questions and it's done and over with. Whereas if he was to check off new installation, the form is a couple pages long. And don't get scared by pages. They're not like you're reading a book here. It's just different ways that we build the form. All right, so some other cool stuff we're able to do with the forms, and this is really good when it comes to large projects. This has helped us tremendously. It's cut down on the data entry errors. Listen, everyone here has fat fingers on occasion. We all enter and screw up data entry. I've done it. You've done it. Just admit it. Okay. What we're able to do is if we start a large project, let's say it's a couple hundred vehicles, a couple thousand vehicles, right? We'll get the vehicle list from the GPS company or the end user, whoever, and we're able to make what's called a lookup list. That lookup list then gets uploaded into FastFill, okay? And we will make a drop-down selection. So when the technician is in the field and he chooses the vehicle number or the label, it's going to automatically populate the rest of the data that's provided within that spreadsheet into the appropriate fields within FastFill. So what I mean is this. The guy goes on site. He has to work on truck 455, okay? He gets on site, pulls out his app on his phone. He searches vehicle 455. He finds it quickly. The second he clicks on it, it automatically populates VIN number, plate, year, make, model, color, whatever data was provided to us within that Excel spreadsheet. That right there has been super powerful. And again, has eliminated a lot of the errant data that has been fat fingered by guys in the field. All right. All right. Next, this is the last bullet point here I have for you guys. You can get really, really creative and fancy and custom with these things. I don't know if anybody here has heard of this third-party software tool called Zapier, depending on who you talk to. It's a paid-for service. It's not that expensive, but it is something that allows a layman, such as myself, to tie softwares together without having to write any code, any fancy API integrations or any of that kind of crap. So I'm excited about this because FastFill just released that they have fully integrated with Zapier, which is awesome. If you go on Zapier.com and look at what they have, I mean, they integrate with an absolute shit ton of different softwares. Okay, the entire Google suite happened to be one of them, which is what makes it so powerful. So we deal with a couple of manufacturer partners, GPS companies, that send us their work in a Google Sheet. Okay, it's a live shared Google Sheet. What we're able to do with FastFill integrated through Zapier to Google Sheet is update each line of that workbook in real time as the technician enters the data without having to send the paperwork or the form via email into the office. Then someone in the office looks at that sheet and then manually types the data back into the Google Sheet. That right there is double, triple, quadruple data entry, and it is a complete, utter waste of time, in my opinion. I'm not saying to not have someone look over what data has been automatically entered, but if we can figure out ways to become more efficient within this industry, that is absolutely paramount to our success, because as everyone here knows, we are pretty much told what we're going to be charging the manufacturing partner for, the GPS company. We don't have much flexibility when it comes in to say, hey, you know, this job, oh, geez, this job looks like a real heartache. I'm going to charge a double. No, that doesn't work in our industry. It doesn't fly. So, you know, we have to figure out ways to become more efficient. And this is one of the things that we're able to do over here at Top Class that has really cut down on the admin time on the back end in the office. So, all right, without further ado, let me share my screen here, and I want to show you some of the back end of FastFill. Bear with me. All right, awesome. So what we have here is FastFill. Let me get this back to size. All right, cool. Looks good here. And over here, different pages. These are different fields. This is how we create the form here with all of these different options on the left-hand side. And as you can see, each one of these is labeled. Every one of these characters that I'm coming over here is actually one of these here on the left, which is the add fields. And these columns mean different things. So when you see this blue pop up, that means it's a required field. And when you see the chess piece come up, that means there's rules on that field. And those rules are the conditional logic that I was showing earlier. Okay. So I don't know if you guys caught that. I might have not had that checkbox checked off to share the screen. Apologize about that, but I'm not going to go over it again. As you can see, we're actually capturing some decent data here. Installation company, company name, work order number, work performed. And what I'm going to do here is just show you a quick preview of what the finished product looks like. Just give it a second to populate. So as you can see here on our form, we put the manufacturer logo here. We give our information. And then as you can see, the required fields, we tell the technician up front, hey, this is required. That way they can see what's going on. So obviously they need to pop in a company name. They need to pop in a work order number. And here's our first drop-down menu that has the most common things that we bump into in the field as far as scope of work. Now, our technicians fill out an individual form for every single vehicle we touch. We don't do a blanket form for a work order. We do a separate form for each individual vehicle. And the reason we do that is so we can easily create that Excel workbook on the back end when it comes to larger projects. All right, so depending on what is selected here is going to kick off conditional logic on this form. So if we choose new install, boom, now we can go to the next page and look at all the information that's populating, okay? It's asking us for all the normal stuff. Label, VIN, photograph of the VIN number, year, make, model, plate state, odometer, hours if they're there, so on and so forth. Now, if we go back here and we were to choose no show, look what happens to the form. Okay, we're asking the technician to click here for time arrived. Okay, boom. Time departed, and let's just make believe he was there for an hour. All right, here's contact information if needed. Here is a contact name for someone who you spoke with. And please tell me why this is a no-show. Okay, no vehicles, missing equipment, and customer not on site. And then they have to give us a detailed explanation of what happened. Now, what's happening here on the back end that the technicians, well, my guys know about it, but this also takes a GPS, it geocodes their location when they submit this form. So that right there proves that I was on site at the customer's location. I can't tell you how many times that right there has saved their ass when someone wants to fight a no-show with us. So, and if you look further, notice the form is blank now. We can't go any further. So that's just some of the conditional logic that we have built in here. And as we get deeper into the form, obviously this is vehicle information, photographs, year, make, model. So as far as make and year, we have we've actually entered this information in via a lookup list, an Excel spreadsheet, and that way, let's say for instance, this time next year we're going to come back in here and add 2021 to the list, and by adding it to that single spreadsheet, it's going to update every single form that we use within FastFill, because we use one. We break it up like this. We use a form for every manufacturer partner that we deal with. We use a form for every custom large project we're doing as well. So if we have a 500 unit install, let's say for XYZ GPS company, even though we already have a form for them, we're going to build a custom form, a one-off form for that job in particular. Because like I said earlier, that allows us to import the lookup list for the vehicles and anything custom that we need to report back to the GPS company or camera company for that project can get baked in or built into that form. It's a very flexible and powerful tool in that sense. All right, so you get the gist here. I'm not going to bore you with all this crap because a lot of you guys have seen forms already. This is a real basic check-in that we utilize, okay? So the technician goes here, how's the exterior? It's good. Interior is good. Windshield's good. Engine stop is good. And dash warning lights, bad. Okay, now look at the conditional logic that popped up. Why are they bad? Tell us what popped up. So it was an airbag, ABS, check engine light, and other. Let's just say this thing was a complete Christmas tree. When I click other, look what's happening. It's requiring more information. So there's a ton of conditional logic built into these forms. And again, depending on the input of the technician, it is going to require a different response or more information from that technician. So we can provide the correct information back to the GPS company or camera company. All right, so you guys kind of got that right there. The next thing we do is we actually start asking all specific questions as far as the installation is concerned. And this varies from GPS company to GPS company. The way that we built this form here is it actually mimics exactly what TTNM is asking for on their portal, on their Salesforce portal. So it's literally verbatim for their Salesforce portal. And what that has done is it has allowed our back office to update this stuff much easier. It also cuts down on the training. So if we hire someone new who's doing updating for us, it's literally just copy what information is in our custom FastFill form over to the manufacturer partner. That way there's no difference in language. Everything is just seamless and easy to understand, even for a new person who's new to the industry. All right, so this basically is some more conditional logic. Depending on what unit they choose, certain things happen. Some questions that we're required to update the manufacturer partner with, such as unit location, antenna location, connections, so on and so forth. This is peripherals did we have, and did we install any of these peripherals into the vehicle? You know, display navigation. If we click yes, boom, now it's asking you for the serial number. Most of the times we're doing a Garmin for them, so it'll be like a 3UU dot 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 serial number, and go from there. This is some cool shit here. This is a verification link. So a lot of the current manufacturer partners and a lot of the big boys in the space, they all have their own sort of either app or tool used to verify their devices while you're in the field. And these guys are no different. So in order to verify their units, you use their REMU system. And if I have a new guy who's working for us, I don't have to provide him with all these links and try to remember all this bullshit because it's built into the form. So literally from here, if you click this, and I'm not going to click into it because I don't want to show all Teletrack Navman stuff, to be quite honest with you. If you click this form here, it basically just brings you to the URL of their verification portal. And from there, you can log in with your username and password and check the device. And then once you are done with that, you provide more information. Was this verified with the REMU portal? Yes, it was. Support contact name not needed, but I need this passcode right here. All right. Once that's done, and we can pop up additional photos here, which is cool. Once that's done, that means pretty much the unit has been it's installed, it's verified. Put the vehicle back together. Do your post check. Okay, this is the same as the pre-check. Just to notice this is a different color, and then the guy can hit the submit button and send this form in. And let me pull over. Excuse me. Let me pull over a form here. Give me a second here so I can just pop open another screen. And I want to show you what one looks like completed. What we do with these forms is we actually send them directly to, we have a specific email account set up to receive work information. And we have our office staff man that email account. And basically as those forms come in, we are collecting the data. I don't have an actual Teletrack Navman, but I have another one I can show you real quick. Okay. All right. So as you can see here, this form is this form hasn't been revamped yet like that Teletrack Navman form, so it's much more simple. It's due for a revamp. But anyway, you can see here it creates a really nice PDF. It gives me a date submitted and a timestamp. It tells me which technician populated the information, submitted the form, customer name, vehicle number, SO, photograph of the VIN, and it's a little blurry here, but on the back end you can zoom into this, or you can actually look at the actual photo on the back end of FastFill and download it. All the information here, as you can see, photograph of the unit, and I can't tell you just the photograph of the VIN number and the unit itself, how many times that has saved us from going back on site because of a typo. You know, before we had this system, you know, a lot of times we would get called back to a job site because we entered a serial number incorrectly on a unit, you know, and that required us going back on site, taking the vehicle apart, inconveniencing the customer, pissing off the GPS company as well, because, you know, they want to bill and update the customer and they can't, and they got to wait another couple days or a week for us to go back on site on our own dime, mind you, to go look for the information that we should have properly documented and recorded the first time. So, you know, the photograph end of it is just absolutely tremendous. And this just gives us a way to populate and keep all this data in one nice, neat, compact spot, which is cool. Now, as far as the back end of FastFill, let me show you this here. So this is the back end of the form. If you look on the left here, this left column, there are so many integrations that FastFill has with their stuff. So, I mean, you see email submitter, email users, email external, email from field. These are all different things that you can do to update people once this form is submitted. Integrations with Dropbox, Google Drive, SQL Server, Amazon S3 server. So you can basically, if you set up those integrations there, if you have a Dropbox or Google Drive account, the second this form is submitted, you could just send it right to that file. You can send it right to Google Drive or Dropbox immediately. Those are a couple of things to do. You know, the HTTP post here, that's a little fancier for as far as integration is concerned. Same thing with this FTP and the SFTP. We use the email submitter and email external a lot. So we do the email submitter. Click on it here. You can see it's pretty simple. And if you look over here on the right, these are the different types of forms or ways you can send that data over to the receiver. So when we do the email submitter, basically we're just sending a PDF version of the submitted form to the user in real time, to whoever submitted that form, almost in real time. And what this does is allows that technician, I can't tell you how many times a customer has asked, you know, hey, could you just send me the information for the vehicle you just did? So the guy goes into his phone, he opens up his email, and he hits the forward button and types in the customer's email and says, hey, Joe Smith, here's all your information that you need for your vehicle. Immediate. There's no calling the office. Hey, when you get a minute, could you share the information? There's no handing the guy a napkin or a piece of paper with, you know, lunch stains on there and crayon scratch marks and some handwriting that they just can't read. So, and you can see a little Zapier down here in the bottom. Nice. Anyway, a little rant there, but that's pretty much what we were able to eliminate with that too. Now, as you can see, there's different ways to export this information. There's PDFs, there's Word documents, and you can make them editable or non-editable, which is cool. So you can send, let's say, a Word doc, and we've done this with a couple of companies, a couple people in the group too. We'll actually send it over as a Word document, and it'll be editable. So that way, if they need to edit out some of the information that's in there, they need to change some of the stuff around before they submit it to their customer, they can do so. And as you see, the stuff that's here in these brackets, this is what we call a merge field. Some software calls it tags. This actually merges in data from the form automatically. So whatever was entered for company name gets automatically, it populates in the subject line. So TTNM, company name. So when this comes through, we know it's a Teletrack Navman job and we know the customer name here. You can change this to work order number. You can change it to whatever you want. So, all right. And you can see some other stuff we got there, which is fine. Email external. So this is coming to our work info at Top Class email account. The really cool part about this is you see all the CC email addresses. A lot of times we'll do custom jobs or big jobs for a specific company, and they'll say to us, hey, we want those submissions as soon as they come in. Like, all right, no problem. Come in here, you add the email address in literally 6 seconds. You type in their email, you press save, you update the form, and the next time that form is submitted by a technician in the field, an email not only goes off to you, your team, whoever needs it within your own organization, but you can automatically update the customer as soon as that send button is pressed. Really cool stuff. So let me show you some of the back end here of the system. All right. So we have a ton of forms. You can all go in here, and there's different libraries you can set up. So we have different libraries depending on which position you are within our company. You have access to some forms, you have access to others. Which is super helpful, especially as your business grows. You don't need everyone having access to all of these forms. Like, you know, we have some installation managers forms, which happen to be quality control forms while our technicians are in the field, that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go here and look at some data. All right, so this is where we're able to populate and pull data from the back end of FastFill very quickly. We can very quickly search for forms that a technician submitted, whether it was a week ago or 2 years ago. So for instance, we can come here. These are all the forms, by the way, that happen to be in our portal. So I'm just going to, so there's a couple things you can do here now. So this is the form, since this is the one I just showed you guys. This is the form that we're going to pull, and we're going to click the advanced button. If we go ahead and we hit run, if we hit run filter right now, it's going to pull every single form submission for Teletrack Navman since this form has been built, which is a lot of vehicles. And I'm not going to do that because it'll probably take a couple minutes for it to populate too. So we're going to hit advanced. All right. And now look at all the conditional logic that pops up. We're able to choose and narrow down how we want to search for this data. So we can do submitted on, submitted by. work order number, technician name number. So let's just choose a date here. Let's go back to February 28th to today. All right. And we're going to hit run filter. As you can see, we have 8 submissions from February 28th to today, which is March 5th for this one customer. All right. Now I'm going to click export, and I can export this in either an Excel or a CSV file, or I can hit any of these buttons here. There's a drop down. I can export this in any one of these formats at the moment, or if I just hit the HTML, it just pulls up the information from that form without me having to download it. So as you can see here, all the information we pulled from that form, photographs of the unit, and so on and so forth. Okay. If we hit the export button, here comes an Excel file. Just give me a second so I can open it up and drag it in here and show you guys. Now, it comes over in a little bit of a funky format, but it's nothing that you can't quickly adjust within Excel. So you see here, you open it up a little bit more so you can see some. Yeah, you see how all this is populated. So, I mean, what we usually do is just come in here and delete some of the data that you don't need, and it makes it real easy for it to see. So well, I'm just going to scroll over real quick. As you see here, customer names, what we did, VIN number, VIN photo. So this here is an actual link to a photograph. If we click on it, it's going to populate that photograph for us. One caveat about that is you cannot share that photograph with someone outside of the users within your FastFill account. You need to add them as a user if you want to make that a clickable link, or you need to host that data somewhere else other than FastFill. All right, and as you can see, you know, just different styles of work that we did here. Let's pull up a picture. Boom, same picture we just clicked on, but it's a really nice system. It works well. It allows our text to upload the information properly, and so on and so forth. So, all right, that's pretty much it. I think I gave you guys a pretty good overview here. Let me come back on. Hey, there I am. So that's FastFill in a nutshell. It's what we use. Again, there's other solutions out there. You got Do Forms, you got Go Canvas. There's a bunch of stuff out there that's really nice and solid. And don't discount Google Forms either. They're a little clunkier to build, but they're getting more and more powerful as every day passes. And right now, it's a pretty free solution. So if you need something simple, you can quickly go into Google Forms and build something for yourself. That way you can capture this data in the field. All right. So again, I can't say to you guys enough how important it is to collect this data, because it's going to set you apart from the competition. If you're not collecting this data, if you're not storing it, if you're not making it easily searchable in case there's an issue or a question that pops up in the near future from either a customer or a manufacturer partner, you're behind the ball. Like, a lot of people are doing this already. I'm not the only guy out here doing this stuff, you know. And there's other companies in this group who I can almost guarantee you who are doing this at a way more advanced level than I'm even doing it at currently. So get on it. It's not that difficult. If you need any help setting up FastFill or building forms, I can do so. Also, since we're closing this out here, I think I mentioned to the group a couple days ago, weeks ago, whatever, I just finished writing my first book, and I'm going to give you guys a link here to a free copy of it. It's a book basically. Well, let me just tell you the title. It's called Unfuck Your Business. Stop business self-sabotage by getting clear in your core values now. It's something that I'm passionate about, and I've been thinking about it for a while. It's kind of always one of those pipe dreams of my own to go and do. And I finally just decided to quit BSing about it and go out there and write the book. So I did so with the help of others. I basically went to others who had done it before me and said, "Hey, how do you do this?" Because I had no idea where to start. And I leveraged them, and they kind of held my hand and walked me through the process of doing it. And it's been real eye opening and cool. I'm excited. I plan on having the book released April 15th of this year, 2019. And I'm going to post up a link here in a group in a little while. That's basically just a sign up form. So if you're interested in getting a free PDF version of this book once it is released, sign up on this form, and I will then email it over to you when I do release it. We're a couple weeks away from the PDF version. And like I said, the printed version will be available on Amazon by April 15th. With that being said, I think we're done here today. I hope I was able to help a number of people within the group. It's really my end goal here is just help as many people as possible within business. I know there's a lot of guys in here who value the content that I'm giving to you, and I truly enjoy it. So if there's anything in particular that you'd like me to cover as far as topics are concerned, feel free, post up in the group, shoot me a DM on Facebook, or if you guys want to contact me, you can always go to topclassinstallations.com. And the newest place that I'm going to be readily available. Everyone here knows I'm on Facebook nonstop, which is cool. Shoot me a DM on Facebook. But within another week or so, if you go to thomaskeenan.com, I'm going to have another website live there. It's TOMAS Keenan.com. There's no H in my name. All right, that's it. I'm signing off. Time to get some real work done. Have a great day.